Hello, thank you so much for coming to the Sashiko Live Streaming. This is Atsushi. It's Thursday night, and this is the live streaming where I talk about Sashiko, cultural perspective, some Sashiko stories about culture or mindset. If you could bring some of your stitching project, and if you could stitch together, that'd be great. Yep. There are few announcement. Few. There are one announcement actually I have to make. I don't have to make. I would like to make. The announcement is that I decided after long talk. I decided to actively plan the tour to Japan about Sashiko Japan tour for 2024, estimating November. I will decide the exact date toward the end of this month or sometimes next month, and it will be the tour similar or try to be like identical tour that I offered in this previous spring, 2023. And I do have some photos. I will share those photos later on. But there will be the tour that I will take to those places where I would like to share the actual experience. The key is that experience and meeting people. The biggest thing is to meet actual people and then stitch together. More like doing this live streaming in person in Japan together. So if you are interested in that, please check that waiting list, and then I will send you the emails with more details when I finalize the date. Right? Phew. And that's one announcement I wanted to make. What's other? I think that's it. Okay, I brought the topic. Is anyone thinking Sashiko as the medicine? I will talk about it if there are no requests or some for the topic request. The reason I chose this topic theme is that sometimes I feel that in some people's mind, Sashiko became like a medication or something to remedy somebody's suffering. And yes, Sashiko does have that kind of side effect of healing somebody, and it is very much healing. I admit that it's a healing process, and it can be meditation, and it can be a lot of things. At the same time, it's not designed to be the medicine itself. So I would like to kind of make sure that my understanding is okay on that. Okay, I will switch the camera. Yeah, sure. It's so cold. I'll put the leg heater, so I'm sorry if it's loud. Wait. Is the... Okay. I thought that... Hello, everybody. Hello, こんばんは。ありがとうございます。Just a second. Let me find out where I'm gonna do today. Okay. So as Sashiko, actually for that matter, any Japanese kind of practice has become quite famous in English, quite popular in English. I feel that some people, not some people, let's say majority or the trend, let's say trend is taking or considering that word and practice as the kind of silver medicine, silver bullet, or like something to fix, something to solve, something to heal, something to fix, right? And it's like medication to me. We take medication when we have some discomfort, like pain, something wrong with our body. We take medication to heal it, fix it. If I have a headache, I will take the a leave. Oh, I will take a leave, and I like a leave. I shouldn't say I like a leave, but I do take a leave. And that's gonna be helpful for my headache. And that's kind of problem and fixing. That is very, very logical, and that's how we became wealthy like this. At the same time, I find that very Western mindset. When we have a problem, when we have issue, when we have something discomfort, we try to fix it as with considering that it's something bad or something negative. And sometimes I feel that some people use Sashiko, idea of Sashiko or the word of Sashiko or practice itself as that kind of medication painkiller to kind of solve the problem they already feel or have. And yes, Sashiko can be the medication, but it's not really the Western medication to numb the pain. It's more like sleep better, eat better, exercise better. So it's not the way to solve the pain, but it's more like it's the way to prevent the pain. And that's the process of doing Sashiko. So it does not have the actual power to heal as the medication, yet it will improve somebody's quality of life. As the result, it can bring the healing and the meditations. Um, it sounds quite similar, but in principle they are quite different. So because it's when we get addicted to the medication, we sometimes or we may take the medication for the purpose of taking medication. Then it's gonna be against to the healthy life. Although medicine is something for us to make us healthy or live better, too much medication can be bad. So that's something I feel about Sashiko right now in English. Not right now. I have been feeling like that last few years. That Sashiko has become like a magical medicine to heal something. That's why many people kind of attach a lot of word or theme about Sashiko. Let's say that Sashiko is meditative, so let's say like meditative stitching. I don't quite find Sashiko meditative stitching. It can happen. Meditative status can happen while doing Sashiko, but being meditative status is not the purpose of Sashiko. And that's quite kind of simplified or even modified. And Sashiko can, of course, be the way to upcycle or repurpose the fabric. But the original point, and we can celebrate those upcycling and also repurposing, even mending. At the same time, it's not a principle of the Sashiko culture. So let's say upcycle or repurpose as the painkiller to solve the social problem. Um, it will kind of simplify the whole story of Sashiko being the way to be in a good health. So that's something I would like to keep kind of speaking up about it. But at the same time, as Sashiko became so popular in this world, it might be difficult to like some people might completely not misunderstand, but decide what Sashiko is without hearing the stories from actual Japanese people. And that's kind of the scary part of this cultural interaction. We call it kotoba no hitoriaruki, and saying that it means that the word will start moving, working stepping forward by itself without having us using it. After it goes off, it's kind of difficult to get it back. Once it's off, it's gone. And there are tons of Japanese words like that. Wabi-sabi, kintsugi, what else? Zen. Those are like very useful Japanese word to express something we, as the Western mindset, do not have in our life. Yet the kind of like a image we can carry in English by using those words are already modified in the Western mind. As the result, the word becomes completely different meaning, and that's not a really true appreciation in my understanding. So I don't want Sashiko to be just a painkiller. Oh yes, it is modern Western obsession with fixing ourselves. So Sashiko can heal, fix ourselves as a byproduct, but it's not. If we consider Sashiko as the medication, then something will go off. Well, actually, something is going off already. It's ongoing process. So that's why I keep saying, like, please, please, please learn more and more. Sashiko introduced in English is not wrong, but simplified. And I believe this is my kind of optimistic way to think about it, but I believe that those people who introduce Sashiko in English do not mean to simplify it. It's just, I mean, if they mean to simplify it for the purpose of their profit and convenience, that's a different issue. That's a completely different issue. But it can happen because of the cultural difference. It's as I believe that this simplification is the result of cultural difference. It can be very unfortunate. So Sashiko itself is not really well defined in Japanese yet. Everybody has a different kind of their own definition. So it can be the interpretation. When there's no definition, we can only interpret. And so Sashiko is already the interpretation, and also we have to translate that interpretation. And then people in that language, let's say in English, they have their own interpretation of the translation of the interpretation. Did I say right? So it's simplified, but if it's by accident or by nobody's evil purpose, it's pure unfortunate of interpretation of the translation of the interpretation. So the only things I can say is to speak up, but I hope that this makes sense. So Sashiko is not the word for the visible mending, and that's one very, very strong message. Sashiko can be used for the visible mending, and I respect those people who publish a book about visible mending with using the word Sashiko. Some of them follow me, some of them try to learn. It's not wrong, but it's not. If one decided that Sashiko is supposed to be visible mending, then their cup will be very much full, and no water, no tea will go into that cup. So it's gonna be very difficult to kind of pass it down this culture. We say it took on a life of its own, for your word of went off walking by itself. Thank you. It took on a that sounds very sad. That sounds quite sad. I don't want to admit that Sashiko took on life of its own. I don't like. I know. But it's probably true. I keep shouting, "Come back, come back!" Yeah, it's kind of sad. But there's no way out. There is no other way to make this kind of readjust. As I said, interpretation of translation of interpretation. How can I be the one to eliminate those interpretation? Can I say the definition or answer with eliminating those 3 steps? Yes, I can, but if I do, it's no longer Sashiko because it's only my definition. If the question is asking my own answer and definition, I can provide it, and I do sometimes provide that in my workshop. But at the same time, I have to say, I want to say that it's my own definition, which means already interpretation too. So I cannot really 100% eliminate what is. So even for Japanese, we don't know really what Sashiko really is. And the more they practice, the more difficult it gets. Because we see, we experience, we meet more people in this field, and they are different. I'm not saying that it has I am not saying that has happened to Sashiko, just that we have a similar phrase in English. Thank you, Sue. I'm the one who said that it might have happened to Sashiko. It may have happened. I don't want to admit it. I said it's sad to see it, but I may have to admit that it has happened already. When I admit that Sashiko took on a life of its own, a lot of argument on my social media can be explained. I can explain why it happened. They define what Sashiko is based on the information they get, and then they stop their installing process there. So that's kind of the full cup being full. So after that, no matter what I say, there's no space to take that information in. So if I say that Sashiko is not a word of Sashiko is not for the word, Sashiko is not a word for the visible mending, that information itself cannot be taken away from them because in their mind Sashiko is visible mending. As the result, they don't really understand what I'm saying, but they have to defend themselves because I'm saying from a Japanese perspective. And that's how pretty much every pretty difficult to communicate. Are you thinking of making a book? I think you have a lot of good idea to bring to the topic of Sashiko, and there are truly not many solid resources to learn about Sashiko nuance. I hope, I wish I can. I sometimes receive the not a request. How do you say that? Offer to publish a book, but those offers are mainly how-to book or the project book, how to make Sashiko, how to enjoy Sashiko. And in order to make a book about those things, I have to define the rules and also the answers so that everybody can follow. And unfortunately, that's not something I can do. I don't want to do it and I cannot do it because then that's going to contradict everything I say here. So I don't think there will be the book possibility throughout the commercial publisher at this moment. The closest thing I could make was the course, Sashiko course on Domestica, where I had 3 hours of explaining that there's no rules. And so yes, in 2024, one of my resolution is to summarize what I say into one place so that I can consider self-publishing. But at the same time, it's excuse. It's very much an excuse. It's very excuse. But since things are happening very, very, very quickly, I see a lot of movement in Sashiko. And if I use the word from Susan, it really, Sashiko took on its life and it's kind of partying. Let's say Sashiko is my kid. He went to college and he learned how to do the party, and he's doing party a lot. So I have a kind of urge, or I feel more necessity in speak up on time right now, right there. So I prioritize this live streaming as well as the Instagram or any other places, because book can be slow for that matter. It's gonna be a very, very good summary and very good archive, and I want to put it like a story. At the same time, Instagram is much, much faster and easier for me. So that's a little challenging. Well, I'll see what I can do. I am not denying the possibility. I am happy to consider that. It's just I'm alone doing. I'm not alone. Like I'm doing this alone in the U.S. So, and I would like to stitch as much as I can. So it's more like a priority issues. Ah, but yeah, I will do my best. As excuse, because it's excuse, my voice got a little smaller. A book of Sashiko illustration haiku would be nice. That's one way to do that. But that's kind of already Instagram, like photo and also one story on Instagram. That's kind of good, kind of pattern or habit or custom. I'm just gonna have to save all the Instagram posts and print out and book for myself to read. That's a very good way to do that. That's a very good idea. Is that okay to do that? Huh. 2023, I probably made like 300 pages of Instagram post on the Google Doc. I can just print it out. Some of them might be repeating, and I have to probably edit it, and I don't want to go back and reread it. But yeah, that's probably that's a good idea. I think a book of your essays. I think a book of your essays plus profile of some Sashiko artisans would be lovely. But you can't wrap Instagram in a beautiful paper and give it a gift. Yeah, I know. I know that. I know that. I know that the importance of tangible goods. And another reason that I'm very hesitant to do the book thing is that I am deliberately, intentionally using kind of wrong English. I know that my writing in English is not complete. It's not really. Sometimes I make a grammatic error. Word choice might not be the best choice. So if I have the kind of proofreader, he or she can proofread. There's gonna be a lot of red marks on my writing. At the same times, that's their interpretation of what I wrote, and that is the scary part. By following their proofread based on what is right in English as a writing, I may lose the sense of what I wrote. So that's a really big challenge. And if I, but at the same time, it is a kind of wrong English, I guess. I don't know if what is wrong, but it's not inaccurate English. I think I wrote it somewhere on Instagram a long time ago, and I probably should write down in this first page of the book if I were to publish it. When I use double quotation mark in the word, let's say Sashiko is not the word for mending. I sometimes write like that, right? Like actually, I use a lot of double quotation mark. When I use double quotation mark, it's the message that I want the reader to think what this word means to them. I want them to define what it is. I want them to kind of compare what they think in a sense in the context of what I'm writing. Then it's kind of the key of understanding Japanese culture is to read between lines. In another word, it's very important to read what is not written. I don't know how I can do it in English, but that's one way that I'm trying to recreate that reading in between lines. So that might be helpful to. But yeah, if the reader is trying to read what I write to get the answer, then they will get very frustrated because I'm not really offering the answer. But you cannot order sushi in the American bar. I mean, they might offer the sushi at this moment. You don't want to order sushi in Chipotle. They might have sushi there. I don't know. A real book is important. It can go to your great grandchildren. Yeah, yes, it's very true. It's very true, and I am not denying the importance of actual physical book. It's just the priority is priority. Priority. I have 24 hours in a day, and what is the priority? What is the first thing I would like to do? If I consider book as the priority, I probably can make it happen sooner. But right now, Instagram, YouTube, live streaming, and stitching, those three are not Instagram, but like sharing the story every day, sharing something new, something repetitive, but something new, instead of like delivering the whole story in one book, is I feel it's more important. Makes sense. I hope it makes sense. Oh, sorry, we had it. It's been a long week. Like Monday was a holiday, right? Martin Luther King Day. So the school was no school. And Tuesday was a snow day and canceled. Wednesday half day. Today full day. Tomorrow I don't know what's gonna happen. So as much as I enjoy spending time with my daughter, weekdays I need to work. So, but the key, another excuse, Like I have so many excuses that I'm not publishing a book. I am doing this in my second language, and do I do it in Japanese? It's not that important to write a book in Japanese. Can I ask somebody to translate what I write in Japanese? I don't know. I'm very much worried about the translation. So that's another reason that I cannot ask some people to translate what I offer as the online Sashiko class to other language because I cannot, because I don't, let's say Spanish, right? If they translate my online class to the Spanish, it's gonna be great, but at the same time, I have no other way to confirm what they're teaching is what I would like to teach too. If it's not the core or essence of the Sashiko, then it's okay. It's kind of if it's more like an introduction, as I made in Domestica, it is okay. Any misinterpretation or misunderstanding can be okay, and it's not gonna be fatal. But when I do the workshop in let's say core essence right now in the title, I cannot risk that possibility of interpretation in a different way. As the result, I can only offer the language that I understand well. So I'm learning the other language to make it happen, but you know, until I find somebody who I can really talk like daily basis to confirm that we're on the same page, it's not gonna happen. So it's pretty much the trust issue that I do not have the trust on, not like the ability to translate, but more like understanding of Sashiko. And I cannot ask the translator, professional translator, to understand what Sashiko is before that. So it's another, well, another excuse. I have so many excuses. Yeah, those are excuses. At the same time, I kind of feel content. I don't have a strong urge to make a book. That's another excuse. I don't know. I have to really convince myself this year. I will do my best. But yeah, Sashiko is not a medication. Thank you so much for waiting to come back to that original topic. Sashiko isn't, can be the medication, like Eastern medication, if that's okay to say. But it's scary to see the things changes like that. When the time is right, it will write itself. Wow. What is it? My hand? That would be so nice. I don't have to worry about it. Writing a book is a lot of work. Wait until you have a strong urge. Yep, that's what I've been waiting. But again, again and again and again. I'm sorry, but the priority is probably the key. Like if I have a choice to choose either workshop, in-person workshop, or book, 100% I choose the in-person workshop. I know I can reach more people over book, but in-person workshop for me is more important right now. Same as the online Sashiko class. If I have more opportunity to teach online and it's kind of in person, that is more important to me. It might take longer to kind of spread the word, but at the same time, it's much, much, much closer to have somebody who understands what I'm trying to do. So and if they can do Sashiko the way we do, that's even better. That is even better. Oh my god, I cannot stop yelling. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Gosh, it's. I don't want to drink coffee at this time. No, I'm gonna go to sleep after this. So. Susan, yes, yes. I don't know if I should read it out loud, but Yes, I know that. And I keep saying that I know the possibility. You could make a lot of money if you market your workshop as learn the secret of the ancient Japanese healing art of Sashiko. And that itself will do a lot of better job than what I'm doing right now. There is a follow up on that. There's a way to make it much more profitable. I make it like a session, like let's say 3 sessions that they have to take, and then I will add the certification process. If you want to be certified, go to this route. So you'll be certified and then you will teach what I teach, which is, I don't know what I'm doing, but so Sashiko is in trend, and me being Japanese, it's quite big advantage for that matter. So if my goal was to make money, I could have done a lot better, like a lot better. And I'm not denying the importance of making money. I need money, I want money to make what I want to be true. To pass it, to pass down Sashiko, to preserve the Sashiko, we need money to protect it. At the same time, it's something I really, like pretty much I tell myself every single day is that we cannot mix the goal and uh, goal and medium. Medium as like a vehicle to reach to the goal. So my goal, destination, and how to get to the goal. Those twos cannot be mixed up or cannot be shifted. So if my goal is to make money, yes, there are another vehicle that to reach that goal. But because I have another goal, which is to preserve Sashiko, the money is only one vehicle to reach there, which is very strong vehicle. But I cannot mix that up. It's very famous, not famous, very popular Japanese saying, 結果と、あ、目的と結果をごちゃごちゃにしちゃダメ。違うな。目的と手段と目的をごっちゃにしちゃダメ。Ah. So, yeah, let's say, if my whole family is depending on me, that I have to make enough, I have to be a winner, I have to be a breadwinner to supply the insurance, mortgage, food, everything. Like, let's say if I'm the one who is the breadwinner, I don't know if I choose Sashiko as my career to begin with. That being said, I may have taken the way that money can be the goal. And I was doing that like 12 years ago, 15 years ago. I was thinking the money as the goal back then. But something changed, and not something, a lot of things changed. And now the goal is not that. And if I make the goal doubled, like to preserve the Sashiko and make money, then something will be twisted. And unfortunately, that's something I am frustrated in this trend that some are mixing those two things up. Some, I don't want to say, well, I have to say, some Sashiko teachers are mixing those two things up, vehicle and also destination or goal. And it is perfectly fine. It is perfectly fine if they advertise their class or their teaching as the way to make money. I am teaching Sashiko to make my life better. I am teaching Sashiko to pay off my studio. I'm teaching Sashiko to make my medical bills paid off. That is perfectly fine. Please use Sashiko if they can make money by using the word Sashiko. Go ahead and then just say that you need money. You're trying to make money by doing it. And the things I don't like, or the thing I feel it's not fair, is that they kind of hide it. They hide and they say that they care about Japanese culture, they care about cultural context, stories, and everything besides money. And they kind of try to hide the money perspective because it's not really kind of cool things to show. Yet, yet, their hidden goal is the money, yet they kind of cover it up, sugarcoating with other purpose, and then do that is kind of that's very unfair and that's shady. Money is important. Money is very important. Money is a very important vehicle to get to the goal. And if somebody decided to somebody set up the goal to make money, that's perfectly fine. Don't mix it up. When we mix it up, it gets very, very, very tricky. I cannot stitch today. Oh, Tsuchiko-san, thank you so much for the comment. Many years ago, for my mom who does etegami, a postcard with drawings and short poem, and I ordered a book from company that creates a book from big blog post. All my posts on the blog of my mom's etegami became in one book. I wondered if there's any company that create a book from Instagram post. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Who wanna have 1,000 though? I have like 1,000 posts, so I have to choose, right? I have to choose. So I have to read all of my posts every. But yeah, that's something I think I can copy and paste on the Google Doc. This is the photo. This is the writing. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. So it's doable. At the same time, I think I'm kind of romanticizing the publication. I think I respect the book too much for that. I want it to be something as pure, as authentic as possible, which is ideal, which is idealism, and I know it's not gonna happen, but I'm difficult. I tried to be difficult on the Instagram. I'm not like that in the in-person workshop or online class, or even here. I'm a different person. But at the same time, I'm kind of difficult on myself too. I don't know why. Well, those money conversation is, pretty popular. It comes up frequently. And I am saying that there is a goal that I would like to, pursue. And money is just a vehicle. And I don't have to worry about tomorrow's bread thanks to my spouse. But, 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 if something changes and if I am in need of supporting somebody else besides myself, if it's just me, I'm fine. I mean, I can go some, I can eat whatever on the street. But if I become responsible for that, then money might be the goal. When it happens, I will make a big announcement. Hey, people. Hey, listen, my friend. Hey, listen. I have to change my goal for now to make money, so please help me out. I will do whatever it takes to make money right now because I need that. So, one of the things about YouTube Live, and then also Instagram too, is that it's unedited and unmodified, which means that I cannot fake much. In other words, being honest is the safest option in what I'm doing. So I write a lot on the Instagram, on the Facebook, and then I speak a lot on the live streaming. If I make one lie or one fake statement, I have to memorize that. I have to memorize that one statement I kind of lied almost forever. And if I make one statement with a fakeness, I probably have to make the second one, third one. And I have to keep memorizing those to avoid a contradiction. I don't think I'm that smart. I don't know if I'm smart to begin with, but memorizing all the lies or fake I create is not something I can do. So that's why when I started live streaming like a few years ago, I decided, well, let's be honest as much as I can, because if it's honest, there won't be much contradiction. There might be some contradiction because I change. I'm a human, so my opinion, my mindset might change. So I'm not gonna say no contradiction. At the same time, it won't be as unnatural as I thought, as I think. Susan is right. You could lose your soul. Mm. Yep, if that's the goal. But letting it happen and then letting it go, that way you keep your soul. Yeah, it's a goal. If I have enough reason to sell my soul, I would. If it's for somebody, I will. I'm not that idealist. But as of now, I don't have to. If I don't have to, I don't want to sell my soul for some like a luxury that I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy luxury much. I mean, I would like to have it if I can get it, but it does not mean that I have to get it. Like, of course, I like the luxury car, but at the same time, I'm perfectly fine if it drives. I don't have that particular value on the car, how fancy it is. As long as it brings me from A to B safely and nicely, and it's my kind of you know. But yeah, it is my privilege. I have the privilege that I don't have to worry about it, and that's really rare to have right now. Like many people have to work to support their family, and in those cases, what I say is just very kind of even like disrespectful those people. But I'm not being disrespectful for that matter. I hope I kind of communicate that. But it's just my spouse, my family here, and I really well without the family, I cannot really do what I do. Okay. Oh, I talked a lot today too. Sorry for. I'm sorry for this yarning. I keep yarning today. Ah, it's a one announcement. I probably have to skip next week's live streaming. I will mention that at the end of the live streaming again. But I probably will have to skip the live streaming next week. I may be able to join. I don't know. I will make. If I can, I will show up on the same time, 9 p.m. But I will not make the slot for that. I will not make a reservation for that. I will be traveling to the Florida. Wow, another week. Wow, that's a. I haven't prepared it well. I mean, I prepared everything for the workshop, but I have not prepared myself. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be in Florida, and I'm gonna be in the hotel on the Thursday night right now. So if I'm okay, I will be on the. It really depends on how good the Wi-Fi is, and also how tired I am, or stuff like that. So most likely 80%, 90%, I am not gonna do the live streaming next Thursday. But I may be there at 9 p.m. So if I can, I'll be here. Just I will show up without any notification. Yeah, I hope today's. I did not talk about medicine, Sashiko's medicine much, but at the same time, the second half of the conversation about what is the goal and what is the vehicle is very, very, very similar to the medicine thing. So what is the goal of Sashiko? And there's no answer for this question. And instead of asking what is the right Sashiko, what is the definition of Sashiko, this might be a good question that I can ask many people. What is the goal? What is your goal of doing Sashiko? Why are you doing that? Why do you do that? And again, there's no answer. If the answer is to heal yourself, that's perfectly fine. But at the same time, I want them or you to realize that it's not only the medication, it's more than that. And if your goal, why are you doing Sashiko? And then the reason is to have healthy life, go ahead. That's very good. You can have healthy life. Healthy mindful status, that's perfectly fine. If your goal is to kind of eliminate pain by doing Sashiko, then it might be a little too much expectation on that. But at the same time, you can start kind of adjusting it. It might be a little too much to say, too accurate, not accurate, too articulate. It might be too articulate to say that, but if somebody is selling Sashiko as the drug, don't go there. It can be quite bad because Sashiko is not medication. Like, for example, Sashiko can heal your pain, as Susan suggested. If somebody say, well, Sashiko can heal your depression, that's quite bad. Susan, you you enjoy this, right? you you enjoy this. I enjoy it too. If you don't have live streaming next week, it might slow our healing process with Sashiko's medicine. See, like if somebody just cut and paste what I said and what Susan wrote, it's just a cultic reaction. I don't want to make cult. It's super cultic. What is the healing process? What the heck is that? Sashiko is just stitching. It can be healing process, but it's not gonna heal everything. I'm just stitching. It can be relaxation, but it's not more than that. Susan, stop it. I hope it's a joke. Clarify that it's a joke, please. With your comment section. Please clarify that. I know it's a joke, but internet is a scary place. Somebody really believes you think like that. So please, somebody really think like that. I don't want anybody to think like that. If you are serious, we have to talk. Oh, okay, it's a joke. I'm happy. Like, no apologies. Don't worry about it. I just wanna make sure that we have a joke. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's a joke, and as long as we have those kind of like interaction, I can cover it up. If somebody cut and paste this place, I can bring this live streaming back, so it's okay. But if you leave, or if I end this live streaming without this clarification, then that can be quite, you know. We know each other in person, and we just met like last week. So it is like a nice conversation, nice, nice joking around. So don't worry, please don't apologize. My Japanese live streaming is much worse, so. Well, I like you, but I don't want you to be like my group. Well, yeah, sure, that's what I asked. But that I feel distanced right now for some reason. See, I'm difficult. Hi. Well, I mean, anybody can be like that. I really value everybody who follow my Instagram to read every day's comment. At the same time, live streaming is, I wouldn't say better, but it's more. Let me rephrase it. So on the writing or Instagram, I want you to read or understand or acknowledge what I would like to say. So it's more like content space, right? You didn't have to go with it, but so on the Instagram, even YouTube videos with Thai, it's more like content space. There's a story, and the whole purpose of sharing the story is to deliver the content. So it is very important to do that. At the same time, I try to pull myself out from those stories as much as I can, because I would like to make sure that it's as objective as possible. I don't want to just carry my hallucination around. So I asked my Japanese friend to kind of double check that too. The YouTube is a little bit different, because instead of saying like I want you to understand what I'm writing, what I want to tell you, what I want to write, what my message is, it's more like the opportunity for me to share who I am instead of what I say. Of course, what I say is more important. Not more. What I say is also important, and who I am is kind of secondary for that matter. But at the same time, it's more personal, I guess. I mean, it's live streaming, so anybody can watch it, and anybody can do anything on this. They can make, cut and paste, copy video clips if they want to. But at the same time, it's more like, it's a difference between what I like to. It's a difference in what I like to deliver. One is the message within the writing, what I say, contents-wise. And another thing, live streaming is more like who I am as the person. So it's perfectly fine to be joking around. It's just a little. I will share the risk of doing that. Okay, we will. Oh, sorry, the ad mic kicked in. Sorry. I will finish soon. About them. Yep, ad kicked in. Sorry. I missed that. There's a way to kind of delay the ad. I missed that click. Sorry. I didn't say much while on the ad. I think everybody's back. Alright, I will finish the live streaming after this much stitching. It's a good amount of time. If you're watching this as the archive, please, and if you have any requests for me to talk about, questions about Sashiko culture and mindset, even Japanese culture for that matter, please leave the comment. I will do my best to bring that up to the next live streaming. And yeah, this is the live streaming where I talk about Sashiko, Japanese culture related to Sashiko, and whatever around it. It's not a tutorial, it's not a lecture. I was supposed to say that in the beginning of live streaming, but I'm saying right now, it's not a lecture, it's not a webinar, it's not a teaching. So I will not answer the technical question much, which I was supposed to say. Yay. All right. So oops. Today's topic was medication. I don't know if you have seen those, like a denim or cloth jacket. I don't see that often any longer, but a few years ago, when Sashiko became quite like started like the beginning of this trend, and the word borrow was getting more on the surface, I saw like a little bit of trend of making or damaging the fabric with using the flat or sandpaper or those flat file. I understand that there's a category of the damaged jeans with distressed denim, and it can be fashion, and I have no say to those fashion. I don't know about the fashion at all. At the same time, there was the kind of not a trend, but there were several videos, or even more than 10 videos, sort of explaining how to make borrowed denim, and what they did was using the sandpaper and also flat file to kind of make a natural hole on the denim. And as much as I don't like what they do, it is okay because it's what they define as the art or fashion. So there's no say from me. But from the Sashiko's practitioner, um, detached from the fashion purpose, it's like not sleeping so that you can take the leave like a painkiller. I try my best, try to neglect myself as much as I can to get a pain headache so that I can take a painkiller. So that's kind of like the purpose or goal is completely outside of the original frame, and that is very unnatural to call it Sashiko Oboro. And if they're using their word for that different purpose, that's perfectly, I mean, I don't understand it, but that's not something I say something. So what I can teach, what I say, what I share is to sleep better, to eat better, so that you won't have headache more than necessary. If you're tired, go to sleep. Then you might not have headache. That's not the medication to solve the issues. Sashiko can be the medication, but it's not the medication itself. And I hope that this message is, it's kind of not a difficult. I am somewhat saying that if you have a pain, instead of trying to get rid of it, why don't you learn how to live with that? It's very, very, very weird. Probably even negative for that matter. So we don't define, in this analogy, we do not define the pain as the bad thing. It is a bad thing. I don't want to have the pain much. At the same time, when we accept the pain, we can probably reside together. And that's more like Sashiko. Instead of eliminating something you don't like, let's find a way to live with it. And I think Sashiko's principle is very much aligned to that. See, there are tons of things we have to share to understand, to fully understand what Sashiko is. It's not gonna be enough time enough. I don't think I can do that well enough, but at the same time, I will do my best to share as many stories as possible. All right, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, again, as I said, I will most likely not gonna be here next week. If I were to be able to do that, I will just show up at 9 o'clock. If not, I will see you after that, which is gonna be February, I guess. Wow, it's time flies already. Okay, I hope you have a good night, and I will see you 2 weeks from now or next week. Bye-bye. Just a second. Susan, what you're saying about accepting pain echoes what you said a few weeks ago about Japanese therapy method. Don't remember the name. The therapy method I mentioned a few weeks ago is Morita therapy. If you are interested in that, you can Google it. There might be books about that in English. Morita is the name for that. Okay, I think I did not miss anybody's comment, I guess.